Oh, well, hello there. May I come in? Welcome to my home. So this is my final unveiling of all of my home decor. If you haven't seen my empty apartment tour and reveal, then I will link it down below for you. But in short, I live in Vancouver in a 1-bedroom plus den. It's 740 square feet, and I moved in just over a month ago now, 5 weeks ago. And I'm so happy with how everything has turned out. So I'm very excited to share it with you and take you around. So you can see the entrance area is actually pretty tight. And every time I come through the door, I have this one waiting for me right behind it pretty much, unless she's sleeping. First thing you see when you come in is my little entrance nook that I've created. So I now have a hook there as well as a little stool so you can take off your shoes, make yourself feel at home, and not have to sort of hover on one foot like a flamingo. And then opposite is the room that I like to call the ugly room. If you've seen really old apartment tours of mine, you'll know what I mean. It's that room that's not guest ready, where you just put things that you don't really have a perfect spot for. And for me, as well as a pet owner, it's where BB's food and litter and everything goes to live, and it's kind of her space. This little Mongolian lamb stool is from West Elm. It's one of my favorite things that I've purchased for the apartment. It's like a cloud on 4 gold legs. It's so soft and light, which is wonderful because there's really very little room in the entrance because of Vancouver square footage problems, and so as a result you kind of do brush up against it a little bit as you pass, but because it's so light it doesn't feel like it's in the way. And this is also where I keep my Nouvelle Apparel scarf that I'm wearing. This is my Tahitian teal, whatever handbag I'm carrying, so it doesn't get knocked over, and my keys as well, so I know where they are. And it's just nice so that guests can kind of have somewhere to sit and unlace their shoes if they have laces or boots on, and it just really makes the entrance feel homey as soon as you step through the door. So like I said, this is very much her space. I guess you could use this room as an office, but I work from home so much on my pearl and scarf business that this would be a really sad place for me to do all of my work because there's no daylight in here. So the desk has become her desk where she enjoys her breakfast and dinner, but every single place that I've lived pretty much has had an ugly room that I just don't worry about too much, and I think that's actually quite healthy because it allows me to keep the rest of my home really neat and welcoming and, you know, just so. And then as you step through the apartment, there's just a coat closet, the usual, not particularly well organized, and then you step in through the main body of the home, which is very much open space. It's the heart of every home where people always congregate at parties, which is why I absolutely love that there is a kitchen island. And these are my first bar stools that I've ever purchased, and they were quite the find, so I'll show you close up what they look like. Bar stools are actually from HomeSense, and I really love the quilted back detail. It just gives it a really nice texture, and they're kind of dark cognac color, and they're actually very comfortable. You can see they're pretty padded and cushy. They were $89 each, which is awesome because bar stools can be really, really pricey, and I love them. Then the kitchen, like I said, is quite open plan, so I'll show you a little bit more close up what everything looks like, because getting a few new things for the kitchen is definitely something that I invested in for this place. I'll show you everything piece by piece, but here is what it looks like overall. So I will link this beautiful pink marble effect vase below, but that was a housewarming gift when I moved in. This is actually a gift that I'm going to give someone. It's homemade granola. If you haven't had granola number 5 from Orange before, or had homemade granola, it's amazing, and I will link the recipe down below. I wish you guys could smell my home right now. It smells overwhelmingly of luxury scented candles and granola. No smell-o-vision yet on YouTube, but if there was, that's what it would smell like, and you'll see the candles one by one as we go through. But I do want to mention now, I probably wouldn't burn this many candles normally. I'm doing that so that it feels cozy and you can see what everything looks like lit. But normally I would probably burn 1 to 2 scented candles, and I think I have 1, 2, 3. I've got 5 burning now, so it's a lot. But I've got lots of windows open too, so it feels very, very cozy in here. So in this little dish I have salt from closet, and then I've got my pepper grinder, and then behind me I have a lot more kitchen goodies. Okay, so kitchen goodies, I've got my big beautiful Le Creuset that I keep on my stove for a few reasons. Number one, it's in Caribbean, which is my theme color for my kitchen, so that's really the foundation that I chose, and then everything else is a little twist on that. And then the other reason that I chose to leave it on the stove for now at least is that it weighs a ton, and all of my other kitchen stuff is kept up here in a cabinet in terms of, you know, stock pots and things like that. And if this one fell on my head, it would definitely be the end of Elle Florence. So for now, it's living on the stove, and then I've got my Bialetti. I get a lot of questions about the spice rack. It is vintage, so I don't think I can link it or even really anything too similar. I would check Etsy. What I can link for you are these wonderful oil and vinegar dispensers that are handmade in Italy. They say olio and aceto, and they are so wonderful. It gives the perfect drizzle on every meal, and when you're cooking, it's just really easy to use. And then at the back in this little wood tray, I've also got a smaller one that has avocado oil in it, which is what I like to cook with. And then in this little corner here, I have my Smeg kettle. I've got another Caribbean item from Le Creuset, which is for holding kitchen utensils that I use often. My new Smeg toaster, that's something that I got for this home specifically. And then my new DeLonghi Virtuo coffee maker, which makes the most wonderful crema lattes. I'm having one right now, which you guys will see in a moment when I take you into the living room. And I have a little vintage sugar pot from my mom that has a matching set that actually lives up here that I serve tea in when I have guests. It's still fairly sizable cabinets, and it really is suitable for someone who loves to cook. So that includes the gas hob, the large sink, an oven that gets really nice and hot. It goes up to, I think, like 550 degrees, as well as, of course, a dishwasher, which is a huge must for me. So then over here, things you haven't seen are my Nespresso Virtuo pot holder. Don't do as I do and get the green ones from the new line. They look nice with my kitchen colors, but the purple one from Colombia is way better, and that's what I'll be getting once this video is filmed, because the purple doesn't look great, but it tastes good, so that's what matters when it comes to coffee. And then over here, I chose my liquid soap. This is funny because it's how I rewarded myself for working hard on this space, trying to kind of keep the cost fairly low for furnishing it, my one big splurge being my sofa. And then a lot of the furniture in this home are actually items that I've repurposed in some way. So once I finished all of that and everything came together, I rewarded myself by going crazy at L'Occitane, and you'll see their items throughout my home. This video is not sponsored by them or anything like that, but if you did need a bougie liquid soap for your home, the Verbena one is amazing, and it actually has shea extract in it. I considered doing the whole like really bougie fancy Aesop thing in my home and rewarding myself that way, but L'Occitane was a more reasonable decision for me because, first of all, I really like their aesthetic. I'm French, so it just really appeals to me, and it goes really well with my decor. And then second of all, even though it's very pricey for soap, you can get refills, which is really eco-friendly and cost-effective, so I really like that. And I don't think, to my knowledge, that Aesop is doing that. So it's a nice kind of luxury, but still like compromise. If you had to choose one scent from L'Occitane, I would definitely recommend the Verbena because it's very fresh while still being different from the usual like kind of lemony home scents. So here's the reveal officially of my Sven couch from Article. It was quite the journey to get to this couch because I originally wanted a larger sectional called the Timber, which is also on legs in mid-century modern and a cognac color, but it has a wraparound back, and it arrived and wouldn't fit through the door. So there's a lot more to that story that I won't go into. I feel like that would be a whole separate video, but overall, all is well that ends well because I absolutely love this sectional. It's perfect for an apartment. It's a little bit more compact, but it's still very cozy for several people to sit on, and something that I feel like can grow with me in the future as well, because it's definitely an investment piece. I absolutely love the bolster cushions on the side, these cylinders. They're really unique, and I feel like they give the couch a really distinctive feel, as well as the sectional area here. The chaise that has really nice tufting. It's got tufting throughout, and it's very comfortable. I would say it's like a medium firmness, so you don't sink into it too much, but it's still very cozy. Especially the back cushions are really comfortable on your back, so that the decorative cushions I have on it are really for decor. They're not because the couch is very like hard and uncomfortable, which is wonderful, because I feel like a lot of mid-century modern sofas are beautiful but not necessarily that comfortable or practical. It's plenty scuffed already from BB. The article is really thoughtful about choosing leathers and finishes that are really great with pets. They can look sort of lived in and just kind of have that aged look that still will look really classy and beautiful in a home. Over here, for my coffee or my wine, I have a little side table. This is just about the only thing in the apartment that's going to change once this video goes up, because on order I have a slightly larger one and slightly higher one as well. It'll be 3 inches higher and more of a long shape. So this will then be a little plant stand for me, and it'll be able to move on the side of the couch here so that you can reach over and put your drink on it. But right now this one is a little bit too low. However, I did want to draw attention to it because it's one of my favorite bargain finds that I've ever found furniture-wise. It was $60 from Amazon.com. Came in like a couple of days. Very easy to assemble. You just screw in the legs, basically. They're hairpin legs. It's really, really affordable, and even the larger size is still under $100, and there's even a coffee table version. So I will link all of them down below, because if you're looking for live edge wood and you've ever tried to buy that, you will know how expensive it is. It's kind of crazy how pricey just a slab of wood with 3 legs or 4 legs that are made of metal can get, and I really love the quality of it. It's got a kind of satin matte finish and a really interesting shape, and the quality of it is fantastic. You've seen some of my previous apartment tours and you'll know this table well. It's a faux marble table that my mother purchased when she was actually living in New York when I was born there, and then subsequently I learned how to walk around it. So it's kind of a bit of a sentimental piece. It's not a perfect fit for this space in that if I actually float it in the middle of the rug, which is from West Elm and I absolutely love it, it does kind of get in the way a little bit and I bump up against it, so I decided to push it against a concrete wall, and it kind of creates a nice little nook there that I've put a candle on. That's my signature candle for my home treehouse. I've put an @ sign, which is a bit of a nod to my being a blogger, a little match holder that's a little kangaroo from Jonathan Adler, and I'm a big believer in using little trays throughout the home to kind of corral things and make every space feel kind of thoughtful and organized, even if it's not. The painting above is custom, and it's a view of David Lamb Park in Vancouver in the spring with cherry blossoms. It's very detailed. Most of my cushions are from either Pottery Barn or West Elm. If any of them are still available, I will link them down below. My blanket here, which is so cozy and wonderful, highly, highly recommend if you're looking for something plush and luxe, is from Pottery Barn. And then up above is a plate that matches Sven perfectly, and it is actually from Italy, painted by my uncle who's since passed away. It has an inscription on the back, so it's very special to me, and every time I move apartments I actually hand move it and always hang it up right away so that it doesn't have any chance of getting broken. This is where the magic of Nouvelle Apparel and Nouvelle Pearl happens, namely also where I make all the necklaces, hence the embedded measuring tape that goes under the glass of the table, one of my favorite hacks that I've ever figured out. So this desk is a gift from my mom, I guess, or borrowed, you know, it's in the family. It's chinoiserie, it's black ink, and it's got inlay of mother of pearl, which is kind of wonderful and a beautiful nod to my pearl business. There are a few things like that throughout the home that are kind of reminiscent of what I do with Nouvelle Pearl. So I've got a monitor here, my laptop, a label printer. I usually have a small candle burning so the scent doesn't kind of overwhelm me while I'm sitting here. My cards between some really nice semi-precious stone bookends. So this outdoor area I've actually gotten so much more use out of than I ever thought I would, and I think there's a few things that have influenced that. Number one, it's very sheltered. It's surrounded by a garden and a fountain, so it's very pleasant and spa-like to sit out here. It's not very windy, and it's covered so you don't get any rain really under here at all. And the square shape as well has lended itself well to setting up my 2 chairs and table and footstool so that it feels very cozy and protected. And I've really enjoyed sitting out here, and I hope to do so for most of the year. There will be a few months that will be just too cold, but I really love it out here, and it's wonderful to just be able to open the big doors behind me. And I think this space, as well as the open plan layout of the apartment, allows it to feel very big for 740 square feet. I have never gotten cabin fever being here, and it's probably my favorite apartment that I've ever lived in. So if it hasn't been established yet through showing you around thus far, I have a real weakness for West Elm, and this cinema style light is from them as well. I love how moody it is, and that it actually isn't really all that bright enough to cast a kind of arc of light around the sofa area, so that when it's dark outside you don't get any light from the big sliding door. There is some light coming this way, and that combined with my HomeSense curved lamp is enough light to kind of, you know, relax in the evening. The dining room nook here is definitely an example of repurposing and not spending a ton of money on a whole new dining set. If I were to purchase a dining set for this home, I probably would have gotten a round table, but I didn't want to do that because, after all, who knows if my next place will want a round table, and I actually prefer rectangular ones anyhow. This extendable table was actually my desk for a really long time, so it's quite beaten up as a result of that. And it has a slightly kind of shabby chic farmhouse feel that I do like, especially for a dining area or kitchen. So this area is one of my favorites in the apartment. I have this really lovely heavy looking piece that is solid wood, which houses a lot of my jewelry making supplies. I've got my giant Himalayan salt lamp. I'll link the biggest one I can find down below. I know it's always a popular request. And then I've got my cedar candle from Le Labo burning. It's where I keep my agenda, a few sentimental photos of my grandmother and my mother and I at my bar call ceremony, as well as in Hawaii. Some nice cards from my housewarming, and then my bar cart, which I've had since I was a little girl. It originally had my dollhouse on it, believe it or not, and it's really grown up with me, so now I do actually use it as a bar cart for entertaining. I'll style it many different ways. Right now I've got some little piggy banks, some champagne candies from Sugarfina, and a little kind of entertaining kind of nook here where I have everything that I need to make a cocktail. Welcome to my bathroom. Not a huge space, as you can see with me for comparison, but it's large enough to feel like I actually want to take a bath in here, and have been able to fit all of my cosmetics really well in here. I've got this really nice slim cabinet in here, my new Pottery Barn towels, and I have a basket that sits near the door that actually has a purpose, which is to prevent the door from closing through some ghostly presence. It just will not stay open, so the basket props it open and gives the whole space a bit of a spa-like feel as well. And I did warn you that you would be seeing lots of L'Occitane, so I have the lavender version in here, which is also wonderful and very relaxing, and again gives it that kind of slightly hotel-like vibes. And I just kind of went with very muted beiges and grays for the towels. So welcome to my bedroom, the last room of the apartment that you haven't seen, which is also home to my shoe collection and closet, and I do have a separate tour video on that because I'm sure by now this video is getting long, so I will link that down below if you would like to see it. But my sheets are from Macy's, another really great bargain find because they're pretty much a perfect knockoff of fret sheets that have that hotel piping on them. It's charcoal gray. And then this cushion right here, another example of repurposing. I'll try and find a photo to compare what it used to look like. I really thought I would love it when I purchased it because I do love bluebell gray sheets and upholstery, but for me, I really found out that I much prefer muted shades for the bedroom, mainly neutrals. So this room has taupe and charcoal as the main colors that I chose. So it's got charcoal in the piping of the bed, and then I did black velvet piping and taupe velvet on the front, and on the back it's the same original gray linen that the cushion had, but used to be this really bright, splotchy, very crazy print that really didn't agree with me. And doing these long cushions on the bed is amazing because it's so much less to arrange in the morning. It gives my bed a really finished hotel-like feel without having to do too much work. My makeup done really quickly with my simple human mirror, and I absolutely love the way it automatically lights up, and it's been one of my favorite pieces that I've bought this year that are both practical and actually really nice and modern. It's a nice contrast to the otherwise very classical decor. So as soon as you step in on your right hand side, there's the mannequin that always has a scarf on it, and sometimes also hanging from the top is the outfit that I will wear the next day if I've planned that. And that actually concludes my home tour. You've seen everything there is to see. I do hope you enjoyed visiting. Thank you so much for taking the time to walk through with me so I could show you all of my decor and how everything has come together in my home. If you'd like to see my next installment on style, home decor, fashion, and otherwise, then make sure you give this video a like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!